She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
Welcome to the Twin Peaks Podcast.
Damn good coffee. And hot. Would everyone please take a seat?
Welcome to the Twin Peaks Podcast. I'm Matt, and this is the podcast where we may have differing opinions about Twin Peaks than you, but that doesn't mean we can't still be friends.
Okay, I'm Mel.
I'm bad binoculars.
I'm Caitlin.
And today we have a special guest, Ian. Yay!
Hi.
Applause for Ian.
I'm Ian.
And Ian is would you call yourself a YouTuber?
I guess.
Twitch streamer?
Easy allies, yeah. Video game adjacent internet entertainer.
Yeah. Well, I'm a fan of your guys' content, and when you were back at Game Trailers, I remember watching a Twitch stream, and you were wearing a Twin Peaks shirt that I own, because basically I own all of the Twin Peaks shirts. But when Twin Peaks came back, I thought I'd reach out and see if you had any thoughts on the new season.
Do I ever?
So, we usually start out by asking the guest their Twin Peaks history, like how you started watching the original seasons, and then you can tell us your overall thoughts on the new season so far.
Boy, you know, it's one of those things where I was trying to remember when I started. It wasn't on. I didn't watch it when I was on TV because it was out. What was that? 92. So I would have been 7. But I definitely watched it later, and I think it was before Netflix, but it feels like one of those things that has just like always been a part of my life, you know, which I guess is fitting for Twin Peaks. But yeah, I found it and I binged the whole thing pretty rapidly, and then the rest is kind of history. Back in the day, you know.
What were your thoughts in the original? Like, how much did you like it? Just okay? Love it?
I loved it. I've always been a defender of season 2. I tell people, like, I'm like, season 1, you know, the 6 episodes or whatever are amazing, and then season 2, the first 6 are really good, and then you find out who killed Laura Palmer, kind of, you know, like in whose body killed Laura Palmer, and then it gets really weird for a while, and some of it's good and most of it's kind of not. But the ending makes it all worth it. Like, it's the best finale ever, and it's so creepy and weird, you know. So I was always kind of a season 2 apologist. But now I'm seeing that that's kind of just a trend, I think, for Lynch, is seasons are too long, and the whole middle is going to be weird, and then the front end will be maybe cool. But, yeah.
So how do you feel about this new season? I think I heard that maybe you had shared some thoughts on it on your Beach House stream, but I missed that part.
Yeah, I probably mentioned it here and there. I really liked... Let me see if I can actually remember the numbers. I really liked 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, I think 13 and 14, and this last one, 16. Basically, I think that if it had been like if this last episode had been like episode 6 or 7, this would have been a pretty amazing season.
Yeah.
The Ed and Nora reunion is probably the most I've like felt anything so far this season. Like, that kind of, I think I said when it happened, I'm like, it was all worth it. It was all worth it. But yeah, largely I've not been a fan of Dougie Jones. I thought it's one of those narrative things that I just don't like, where it's the wrong kind of dramatic irony, where it's like, we know this has to end eventually, so just get on with it, you know? Like, I think Netflix superhero shows have this problem where it's like, Luke, we know you're gonna be a badass again, so just get on with it. Like, this could be 5 episodes shorter, you know?
Right.
But this season has made me mad, but I guess I don't hate it anymore. Because the last few episodes have been all right.
Okay, so you've turned around on it. That's good.
Yeah.
Who's got a cat?
Can we talk about the dying animal outside my window?
Oh, that's...
Yikes.
Is there a cat trying to get in your house?
I don't know. I'm terrified, though.
Aww.
It's not like right on the mic, too. I thought that was in your house.
Yeah, that's out my window.
Well,
He's in your attic right now.
No.
maybe it's one of those deaf cats that doesn't know how loud it's meowing.
Boy, you're coming to the wrong house, cat.
All right, well, let's get on with our review of Part 16. So the first scene is Mr. C and Richard Horn driving at night towards some coordinates in the middle of a field. So I was wondering how awkward of a drive is that? Because in the previous episode, Mr. C is like, we'll talk on the way, but they did no talking.
Yeah, none.
I thought for sure Richard was going to find out that he's his father, but it didn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Let's hurry up and get him to the rock and turn him into sparklers.
He's pretty cooperative. Like, was he just scared of him? Or maybe he did tell him?
I imagine he's scared of him. Yeah, he did get his ass beat last episode.
Yeah, it seemed like a resignation to me, where it's just like, he's wondering like, is this guy going to kill me? What's going on? Yeah.
Well, last time he got freaked out by a guy, he went and killed a child, so...
Right.
Not a predictable guy.
Right. Yeah.
And we didn't, like, I figured that he was Bad Cooper's son or whatever, Mr. C's son. That's never, like, until he says, goodbye, my boy, or what, my son, that's never, like, actually confirmed, right? Because did we know that... Yeah.
No, it's just heavily suspected by basically all the whole fandom.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's so little happens in this show. Like, if it wasn't for some reason, then they've let us down a ridiculous path.
Yeah.
Speaking
it's such an odd way to make Richard go to that rock, though. I'm 25 years your senior. You better listen to me.
Respect
How
your
old
elders.
are you, by the way? Are you 25? Oh, you might be my son. Never mind.
No.
I again, like everything else in this entire series, like, we all hated Richard Horn because he killed a kid and he was, super evil and creepy for like the 30 seconds he's been on screen.
Right.
But again, there's no arc, and I wasted.
I agree. Yeah, like what a journey this character had. Look how far he's come. But yeah.
Oh, you never know. He might come back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up in the Red Room, actually.
Like, this might be like an Ernest goes to jail situation where he just gets superpowers. Getting electrocuted.
Please.
He gets
If
superpowers.
that happens.
Only if he shows up with Miak later. Even though that's from Scared Stupid. But
If he has magnet powers, like, you know what? I'm going to turn around on this series.
I want Richard Horn.
Mr. Nash shows up.
Yeah. I want Richard Horn flying around the jail, like, floating.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you were saying he kind of reacted like Ernest being shocked too.
He made the same sound.
And how long has Jerry been in the woods now?
Oh, like 12 episodes.
Yeah. It seemed like at the beginning it was like, an episode was a day, but it can't be that because, it's been like the whole series he's been in the woods.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point somebody mentioned a time frame, but now I don't know what it was. And like the Dougie Jones stuff kind of throws it all off because it seems like it could be weeks or it could have been a month. Like, I don't even know.
God, I hope
The
it's
editing.
not a month.
Yeah.
The editing of the show throws it off, too, because nothing really connects.
Right. I mean, that's... Oh, I was just going to say, that's kind of been a running thing, though. You were talking about how Richard Horn is kind of a nothing character arc. Like, that's sort of, aside from Dougie and, like, I don't know, two other characters, Ed and Norma and, like, a few others, this whole season has just felt like a string of kind of, like, vignettes, like... little experimental art films that he had the idea for and hasn't bothered to do anywhere else, so he'll throw them in. Like mostly all the little scenes at the R&R, or is it the Bang Bang bar, whichever. The one that plays Nine Inch Nails, the Nine Inch Nails.
It's both.
But yeah, like, it's kind of just felt like a string of just like ideas that David Lynch has had over the years that aren't really not necessarily Twin Peaks. You know, it's just like this girl with a really itchy armpit is in a bar talking to her friend and whatever. It's, you know, like the guy hitting the kid and all that just feels like that now too.
Yeah. Do you guys think we're ever going to get resolution on, like, the sick people, the itchy armpit lady, the sick child, the guy in the jail cell, or the people who are high on drugs?
Not at all.
I'm
No.
starting to think, because of this the last scene in this episode, that maybe there's those people that kind of appeared are not actually there, maybe?
Which,
Like, just
which
like
people?
the armpit lady and like
Oh,
all
no.
these extra, like...
No, they're there.
No, but how do you know? Because of that weird Audrey scene. Like,
Well,
you don't know if they're actually there, if this is like a Black Lodge
No, we
kind
do.
of, like... How?
Because James goes there with his green glove friend.
How do we know James is real?
Because he goes to the jail cell after.
We don't know if he's real.
All right.
This whole series could be a dream.
Yeah, they could all be hallucinating James right now.
The one
Would
thing
it be
that
worse?
the one thing that does kind of muddy those waters, though, is that the guy shows up and is like, "That's my wife," and like starts beating on him when Audrey's doing her like dream dance thing. But wait, he should have been in jail during that. So yeah, that has to be pretend, right? James?
Was James being beaten up in this episode? I thought it was just a random guy.
Yeah.
Oh, was it just a random guy? I thought that was that guy again.
I have no idea.
I'd have to go back and check.
Yeah.
I don't really remember.
So, yeah, Evil Coop got 2 sets of coordinates, or 3 sets, and 2 of them matched this area, but is this place not the real place? Is that why Richard Horn died? Because Coop leaves, so if this was the real place, he'd stay, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it seems like the logic of 2 people gave me this, so it must be the real one, was flawed, because it's, instead of 2 people gave me the thing, so it must be the right one, is really, 2 people are trying to kill me, is
Yeah.
what he knows now, I guess.
Right. So the real place is the sheriff's department, it seems.
Yeah, and that's why she says I'm at the sheriff's department.
Right.
This the Jerry thing, but the binocular thing, like that drove you nuts the
It
first
did
time you
drive me
watched.
nuts. I'm like, turn the damn things around. I thought by the end of the scene he would turn them around, but he never did.
Yeah,
He just got mad at them.
that was kind of dumb.
I want to know what kind of drugs he's on, because, yeah, he's been high for like a week.
It cannot be.
Yeah.
Not. There's no way.
And is this scene in Twin Peaks? Because how far did Jerry run? Like, if it's in Twin Peaks, you'd think...
Well, he's been in the woods for weeks, if not months.
For years.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if they were in Twin Peaks, wouldn't Richard Horn be protesting? Like, no, I don't want to go back to Twin Peaks. I'm wanted for murder there. But I don't know.
Right. Well, and the Jerry binoculars thing is just another example of, like, you've got to suspend your disbelief pretty far for this series, like, this season especially. Like, the Dougie Jones stuff for the whole, like, middle run of it, until they took him to the hospital finally, I was like, there is no reality where people would accept this, even though he has a history of, like, a car accident and acting strangely here and there. Like,
Yeah.
this is just, like, too much. Take him to a doctor, you know? And it's like, you have to put yourself in a reality where, like, people behave in that way. And then you're just like, okay, David Lynch, you're being cute with these binoculars, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
Then we cut to Hutch and Chantel in a van near Dougie Jones's house. And the cheesy queen is at it again. Eating her cheesies.
I don't know how many cheesies one person can eat before they start, feeling sick.
Till their heart just congeals into a ball of cheese. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, if any character should have lived through this series, it should have been these two.
Yeah.
They're like 2 of the only worthwhile characters in this series.
Then you've got Deus Ex Accountant. Or I guess Accountant Ex Machina is what it would be. Like that dude who just shows up and kills them. It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
I guess that handled itself. Problem solved.
The whole time, I'm just like, there's a Jim Belushi, like, right there! Could someone please just shoot him instead?
So, yeah, it's just a quick scene. This is before they die, and then,
All right.
doesn't really matter. Wilson arrives, the FBI arrive, they leave Wilson behind, his boss is being a dick still. Then we go to...
Yeah, unnecessary jerk boss guy, right?
Do you like him, or is he funny?
It's ridiculous. No, I don't think it's funny. But
I think
do you guys think it's funny?
I think some of the actors' mannerisms were funny, but yeah, the character makes no sense.
I mean, like, yeah, he's doing a good job at saying ridiculous things that are not motivated.
Right.
He's just very cartoony.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
We go to Dougie Jones in the hospital. His family and Bushnell Mullins are there, and he's in a coma, of course, because everybody who gets a boo-boo in this series goes into a coma.
Sure. As you do.
And when when you go in a coma, you can stay there for years.
Yeah, that was a very weird, like, even the good actors just deliver lines poorly sometimes in this season, and it blows my mind. Like, you'll have, like, shocking non-actor moments, like that lady in the car before that really cool sick girl, but, like, where it's just like, oh my god, hire an actor. But, and then on the other hand, it's like, this is Naomi Watts, and she's delivering lines like that. I'm like, what?
That's how you know it's not the actors, it's direction.
Yeah.
So the Mitchum brothers come in, and they got flowers, and they got candy, and the girls with food.
It sounded like a Blue Apron commercial. They were like, sometimes things happen, and you don't have time for cooking. Blue Apron can help.
Sometimes your husband's in a coma. Yeah.
Would you like to pay way too much money for a weirdly small specific meal that's going to be mailed to you and will sit on your front porch all day? Cool.
Great. How do you guys? Can I ask you all a question?
Sure.
Something that's been bothering me this entire season.
Sure.
And I think maybe throughout David Lynch's career, thinking backwards, like he's not great at female characters. like they're not good or represented. Like they're non-entities most of the time. They're just like weird Barbie dolls, objects. Yeah, like watching this thing, I'm just because David Lynch puts himself in scenes where he's just like oogling at like women who can't speak English. Right. And I'm like, are you commenting on yourself being an old creepazoid? Or like, what's happening? Like, are you aware of this? Like, because it's insane.
What really weirds me out, and I think this episode really sold it, is that this entire series, the one unifying theme does seem to be violence against women.
Right.
But it hasn't really said anything about it other than just portraying it.
Right.
Like, it's got no comment. It's just like, violence against women. David Lynch.
It happens. Yeah.
I'll film it. I mean, because, like, the whole thing is, like, with Firewalk with Me, it was horrifically brutal, but, like, you got to see, like, Laura Palmer, like, win in the end.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's, like, that's the uplifting bit at the end of Firewalk with Me, which is horrific and, like, just so dark. Yeah. And, like, this series, like, I don't know, maybe Sarah Palmer comes in at the end and eats monsters, I guess. But I don't know. It's just lots and lots of violence against women, and I don't see, like, a comment on it.
Well,
right.
Yeah, I agree with you guys mostly, but there are a lot of people who think the exact opposite, and they think a lot of his female characters are strong. They point to Janie being, like, tough as nails and stuff. But
she's not even, like, allowed on this adventure. She's just kind of, no, you stay back, like, you be the mother.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, maybe, like, in the early part of the season, she's definitely stronger, but now she's just dotes over Dougie. Dougie, you're so great. Dougie, I love you. Dougie.
Eat some cake.
Right. Well, and it's hard for me to take Janie E seriously because she vacillates so dramatically between, being like a reasonable human being who's a good mother and like a providing, like wife and all this stuff. But like, and then, to like this bizarre caricature who can't even deliver lines. Like, it's very weird. And Sarah Palmer, I think, is like the strongest female in this entire show so far when she eats that guy with her weird face.
Right. Only because seemingly she has monster powers.
Right. Is she a tulpa then? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Know. But then think of like Sheriff Truman's wife. Like, what was that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes, that was Oh man, that was bad.
So I hope we got to listen, guys. As we've been told repeatedly, it's an 18-hour movie, and you're not allowed to judge it until apparently all 18 hours are over. And I hope in these last two we get some resolution and justification for all of this. But
Well, I mean, Laura Palmer can still come in the end and save it all.
But you guys are right, though. It is all, like, a lot of it's bad female stereotypes. Like, it's the nagging wife and the, the ditzy blonde,
Mm-hmm.
we've devoted more time to growing and redeeming the Mitchum brothers than we have to any female character.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then he's just like, you guys have hearts of gold. And I'm like,
No, they
well,
don't.
I mean, they definitely show a lot of, like, charity to random people.
Not
They were
really.
going to murder Dougie Jones.
Right,
Yeah,
they took him in the
blood.
woods to kill him.
And
they're
also,
like,
one of them's Jim Belushi.
right. And they literally just have, like, these 3 Stepford wives with them all the time. And it's just like, what is happening?
They're only happy because they got paid.
Because they're rich.
Yeah.
I mean, unless that's a commentary, how, like, money can buy you anything, and even the FBI will turn a blind eye to
Yeah.
your wealth, you know?
Money can buy you a heart of gold.
Right? Yeah.
Let that be a lesson for all of you.
Yeah. Get on it.
All right.
Get rich so you can be a good person. Yeah, speaking of the FBI, we go there for just a sec and see Gordon Cole spacing out in a room full of computers, just bewildered by the technology, I guess.
Including a fax machine.
Oh my god, was there a fax machine in there?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Great. I love
Guys,
it.
I gotta take a break and tell the listeners, like, I genuinely like this episode, but all I'm doing is complaining about it, and I realize that, but it's fun.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, a good episode in this season feels like a huge, great, shining masterpiece.
Mhm.
You know, when like this episode is like an 8. You know, like in a sea of 4s. But like, I don't know. Yeah, I liked it too.
It's good because things happen and there's pacing that's not a
Right.
problem.
Right.
So, yeah, I just thought I'd say that so people could stop ripping their hair out.
I'm gonna rip their hair
I like
out
it
either
too.
way.
I like Twin Peaks.
Yeah. So we go to the hospital again, and Sonny Jim has to pee, and his mom takes him off to go pee, and then Bushnell gets a call about the FBI looking for Dougie, and that's about all that happens in that scene. Then we cut back to Chantel and Hutch again. She's eating the last cheesies.
Oh, so sad.
And then this... yeah, and she's on the rag.
What if she is?
Yeah, what if she is? So
Yeah.
what? She's allowed to be mad about her last bag of cheese.
Yeah. This is
Right. It's a metaphor for her life. So
Oh, I see. Her cheesies have run out.
the cheesies are her time.
How clever.
What he needs is more time.
Now the sand has run out of the hourglass. Like Eddie Vedder or whoever the hell that was said.
Yes. Oh, so clever.
The sand in the hourglass is just cheesy dust.
We're just cheesy dust in the wind.
Oh, God.
You guys don't even get it. It's really deep, okay? Cool.
So deep.
Yeah, this is the scene where the crazy neighbor, which I love this whole scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt very Breaking Bad, just like horrific violence, like in broad daylight in a suburban setting.
Yeah.
And it's very like, I mean, people say this all the time, but this felt very Lynch, you know? Like, back in the screenwriting class one time, a teacher was like talking about From Dusk Till Dawn, and he was like, this is how you don't write a story, where it's like you abandon everything because they go into the wrong bar. And I was just like, right, but sometimes you go into the wrong bar, you know? And like, sometimes you run afoul of this crazy road rage accountant guy, and that's just life, man. You're out of cheesies.
Exactly.
He reminded me of like a GTA 4 character, like a Russian mob kind of guy.
Yeah.
They should have gotten themselves an armored van, though. They should have anticipated this kind of disaster.
Yeah, that would be nice if they had that for them. It would have been nice, but those are probably hard to acquire.
I mean, they are not in front of his driveway, though. Like, that dude can completely get into that driveway.
He was just pissed that they were just hanging out in front of his house. Yeah.
Probably the cheesies.
And the cheesies.
You're ruining my curb appeal.
I couldn't believe that, like, just the gun that this guy hauled out. I was like,
well,
oh my god.
Machine pistol? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, the
God.
burst fire pistol. It's like, whoa, all right.
Terrifying.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Don't go to Vegas.
Don't go to America.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
usually don't.
don't.
We're a garbage country.
It's over for us.
I'm my condolences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all for the best. We deserve it.
People.
Remember us for the early 2010s, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, we will.
Guys, it's not America. People the people are under stress, as Jim Belushi says.
It's true.
It's economic anxiety, guys. So yeah, I don't know. You guys have any other notes about this scene? Caitlin, you got anything? I liked it. I liked the action.
I did too.
Yeah, it was a really fun scene, and like you said, I'm sorry to see them go. I feel like this, killing them and then killing Richard Horn, everything was just kind of like done without too much fanfare, and all of a sudden they're just gone.
Right.
Just like,
I know.
everyone's just popped off.
Yeah. The other week, I had that big long list of all the problems and obstacles they still had to take care of, and I was like, how are they going to take care of all these? And well, they're dropping off fast now.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing, though, right? Is like, I think you brought up Breaking Bad earlier. Breaking Bad is a show that they would always paint themselves into a corner and then come out of it in ways that you're like, wow, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
And it feels really earned and stuff. And I'm all about character deaths without fanfare. Like, I love that. And I enjoyed this one too, but it definitely did, you know, the cynical part of my brain was like, yeah, you guys were in the writer's room and you were like, how are we gonna, this is an insurmountable obstacle. Let's just have some guy kill him off. Like, whatever, it'll be zany. I'm David Lynch, you know? Like, which, you know, again, not exactly a problem, but you have to wonder.
It did feel very rushed. This whole episode really felt rushed. All the storylines kind of moving along, like, it just felt wrong somehow.
But I wish I had the time and patience to go back and pull up every Facebook comment and email that was like, what do you want? Do you want Cooper just to wake up and then immediately like, I need to get to Twin Peaks? I want to find all of those and post them right now.
Yeah.
It super did, like, I mean, we're not at that scene yet, but yeah, never mind.
No, go ahead.
We basically are, yeah. The next scene is the Hum drawing Bushnell away.
Right.
And then
cool to see the Hum come back.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll ever get, like, to me, the big mysteries I'm wondering about are the Hum, who is running that room with the glass box from, like, the cool beginning episodes, unless we already know that, but I don't think so, but,
pretty sure
like,
it's Coop. Evil Coop, because there's like a surveillance photo of him from when it was set up.
Oh, okay, alright. Well, there you go.
Why, though?
I think it's part of his, like, it seems that, like, he has, like, fail-safes for fail-safes on not getting sucked back into the Black Lodge. I mean, yeah, but anyway, like, it was a very weird thing to have Dougie go into a coma and then Cooper just wake up suddenly, because it felt very unearned, I guess, like... They kept teasing, like, the coffee's gonna bring him back. Oh, the cherry pie and the coffee's gonna bring him back. Oh, the thing, like, seeing this thing is gonna bring him back. And, like, they kept teasing it with all these things, so you thought that something meaningful would bring him back.
Yeah.
But it was just sticking a fork in an outlet that brought him back, which I guess does echo the imagery of how he got tricked in the first place, because it was an outlet in the weird, cool Dream Island thing. But, like... Yeah, I don't know.
Right. The whole season's about electricity.
It was like the boy who cried wolf, you know, like they teased it too many times, and at the end when he did come back, I was like, it's not satisfying.
Yeah, who cares? It would have even been better if at the beginning of the episode, they just had Coop show up after getting shocked instead of being in a coma. So
Right.
Or end the previous episode with that, because like when they cut to Dougie in the coma, it took me like a good couple of seconds to be like, wait, what happened to him? Oh, right, he stuck the fork in the thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you end the previous episode, he sticks the fork in the thing and then just wakes up, cut to black. Like, everyone would have been like, "Wah!"
I know.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I was still like, fine. Like, instead of going, yes, I was like, finally, God.
Yeah.
Exactly what Mike says in the Red Room.
Yeah.
Right. Which I think actually kind of like softened the blow a little bit, because Mike was just like, finally. And I was like, yeah, you're echoing my frustrations too, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. It made that whole scene when he woke up just made me angry. Like,
Yeah.
I just felt anger. I was like, it's too little too late.
I was
We've just
happy.
been wasting time for so long.
Yeah. I was happy to see him, but I agree it was too little too late. Like, nothing's going to... Like, him being back does not soften my feelings on everything previous.
Yeah.
No.
And I will say at this point, I like Bushnell, I like Janie E. So those are two characters I like in the series. But what have we done with them, and what are we going to do with them?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, unless because he gave his hair to Mike and said I need you to make another one, so I think he's probably, at first I thought he was making a backup for himself in case he died, but then I was like, oh no, he's making a Dougie so that he can go back to his family.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I guess they'll be taken care of with like a worse version. Like, that's the thing, is like, that's not a happy ending for Sonny Jim and Janie E. Like, sure, they're super rich now, but Dougie was cheating on her.
Well,
and
But
like,
I think that this new Dougie will be better because he's made from the good Coop
He's
and not
made-
the bad
yeah.
Coop.
oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aha.
I think the bad Coop just didn't give a shit about what kind of Dougie he was giving Janie E. He was just like,
Yeah.
here you go, like this
Uh-huh.
shitty human.
Yeah.
Right.
It is kind of funny that they're, like, passing shit back and forth between dimensions, just, like, through this hospital chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. What is up with doctors in Las Vegas? Because they're apparently all garbage.
What do you
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Like there was that first one, the dude from Star Trek Enterprise that examined Dougie and said he was great. And now this doctor's like, oh yeah, I guess you are finally a person that just woke up from a coma.
Right.
I had a really hard time believing that the doctor would release him that fast. Like, that's too fast. Like, he just woke up.
Yeah, you can't fill out paperwork that fast.
Yeah.
Well, it's just another example of this episode feeling super rushed. Like,
Yeah.
even like real world stuff like that, it just felt like Lynch and Frost were just like, yeah, whatever. He gets out of the hospital, it's fine. Which is very, very funny in a season. Like, I was thinking about this while I was walking Bender earlier. I wonder if David Lynch said 18 episodes to Showtime, or like 24 or something, thinking that they would cut him down to like 10. And then they were just like, yeah, sure, go for it. And he was like, crap. Okay. Because it's like, there are way too many episodes in this thing.
But
Like,
he fought for it.
Right,
He had
right.
9, and he fought for this.
can you imagine how awesome this would have been if it was 9 episodes with the same content, like the same story arcs?
Yeah.
Oh man, it would have been amazing.
I'm
I
waiting
mean,
for
how-
the fan edit of this.
The fan edit.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about that
3
earlier. I
hours.
was like, man, what could I cut out, like, a lot,
Yeah.
but like make it into an actual movie?
Yeah.
I was just gonna make a joke about how people go to Vegas to get married. Maybe people also stay there and just get random doctor certificates from the Las Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah.
They get doctor's notes basically saying, yeah, you're good to go.
Dubious doctors. Bushnell has a gun in the hospital. Is that okay?
Oh, it's America. You can have a gun pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, I think, it varies state to state, but Vegas, I think, has concealed carry, I think.
Probably.
I mean, it's Vegas.
I mean, I grew up with a loaded gun hanging over my bed as a child. I didn't even know. Like, we found out, like, when I was, like, off at college, they took it down. I was like, oh yeah, that's been loaded your entire life.
Oh my god.
Lord.
Ugh. Fucking
America.
lunatics.
Oh, so scary.
Yeah. So Coop is awake and he needs sandwiches, and
I love it.
I like
That was the only
that.
part.
I like that. Yeah.
That was the only part that I liked about that scene, was when he was like, give me those sandwiches.
he grabs Bushnell's gun and he gets dressed. And he sends Janie out to get the car.
I very minor thing, but I do have to point out. I noticed when Coop's still laying in the hospital bed, Kyle MacLachlan has got some real old man ears.
Aww.
Like he looks great for his age, but you look at his ears and it's like, oh yeah, that's an old man.
Aww. That's hilarious. You mean they're all droopy and stuff?
Oh yeah, like him and Bushnell have the same old man ears. It's great.
Coop calls the Mitchum brothers because he wants to use their plane. They're going to Washington. He gives
Hearts of gold, those guys.
Yeah. he gives Bushnell a note for Gordon Cole if he calls. And then as he leaves, they talk about the FBI, and he's like, I am the FBI. But there was no thumbs up. And I was like,
oh yeah,
he's still a doppelganger.
He did put on his sunglasses, and then the drone pulled back, and it went, yeah.
That was great when that happened.
Yeah, I was like, oh right, good callback, David Lane.
You were the FBI. It's been 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're
Also, like, aren't you wanted for murder? Like, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny thing is, like, that's why he was trying to get out of the hospital so fast, right? Because he's like, he's gonna go do the right thing or whatever, but he's also like, if the FBI shows up, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? Until
Yeah.
Cole gets involved.
You would assume. But yeah, when he says that the Twin Peaks theme starts, and it's nice that David Lynch put that in there for us, but I think it's misplaced. Like, I don't think it fit here. Like,
It's a little too much.
it's such an iconic song, and then, like, you've got scenes with, like, the random FBI guys pulling up to a Las Vegas hospital with the Twin Peaks theme going. Like, why don't you save that for when Cooper enters Twin Peaks?
Gets
And-
to Twin Peaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That song can only be played in Twin Peaks. It's only allowed in Twin Peaks.
Right, and just use a different classic theme
Right.
at this point.
I'm telling you, all those things that people said that this show was better than, like, we're gonna get them all. He's gonna give a thumbs up, order a cherry pie. The music's gonna play. It's gonna be all the fan service cliches that we were told this show doesn't have. All of them. That's gonna be the entire 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna end with him at Norma's eating a pie and drinking coffee, right?
Maybe.
Like,
I think, if we're talking seriously, I think it'll end with him being sucked back into the Black Lodge or something.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
there forever.
whoa.
I don't think we get a happy ending, but
Or
I do
he'll-
think
he'll-
we get fan service
Maybe he'll
nonsense.
choose. He'll have to choose the sad thing to like protect humanity, or
Yeah.
if he goes in, the real Laura Palmer gets to come out
Yeah.
because it was a teleport that was murdered 100 years ago.
or he has like, he can give up his place in the real world so Laura Palmer can come back or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Nah, I'm gonna have some coffee."
But how bad's Laura Palmer gonna feel when she finds out that, like, the Republicans are shutting down Meals on Wheels, a program that she personally started?
Coming back to a worse world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slow.
She's gonna save it.
She's just like, "Put me back in.
Yeah.
Put me back in."
She is
What
the
if-
angel. She can do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What if the last scene is just like Laura Palmer, like, punching Donald Trump?
Laura Palmer for president? Is that what we're saying?
Oh my god.
Sure.
What
I
if
mean,
she, like,
anything.
What if it's like Bushnell for vice president and he's like punching Donald Trump?
He hasn't punched anyone. Like,
I know, I'm
we've got
waiting.
so many shots of that old poster of him as a boxer, and he hasn't punched a single person.
I was so
Okay.
I was hoping he would punch Dougie while he was in a coma.
It's like Chekhov, it's like Chekhov's boxing poster.
Put Bushnell versus Green Glove.
Oh,
Yes.
what reason do they have to fight though, Brad?
Because it would be fucking awesome.
This show doesn't need reasons.
Yeah.
You're right. Then we go to Diane, and she receives that text that Mr. C sent a while ago, and she's like visibly affected by it.
Well, I agree with your note on the song being misplaced. I did like the song being cut off when she gasped. I thought
Right.
that was
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool, yeah.
That was good.
This whole scene I really like.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
This
Yeah.
this was okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just got jokes today. I'm bad.
I
I was just.
like jokes.
I was just really shocked too when he like sent a smiley face with a nose in it. No one puts the nose in the smiley face these days.
He's evil. That's how you know.
Yeah, right. But yeah, this was an effective scene. I like this because they showed that she had a gun in her purse way ahead of time, so that
Yeah.
that made the tension real.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could have just had her pull the gun out of nowhere, and that
Yeah.
wouldn't have been as effective.
Agreed.
And like I really like a text saying like "smiles all" or whatever, like causing terror in someone.
Right.
So then she then turned and sent him the real coordinates, right? Because she's like under some kind of mental control.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that must have been it.
But she also, like, she starts, like, I don't know what's happening to her. Is she remembering something? She's like, I hope this works. And she's like, I remember. And I don't know.
Because she couldn't remember seeing the numbers for a while, right? On that arm or whatever. Maybe was that what she was talking about?
I don't know.
I'm really confused by...
Or was the all referring to give me all of the numbers, maybe? I don't know.
I thought it was kill all of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
So I think like tulpas, it seems to me like a lot of them are just dummies that don't know exactly what they are, but they're somehow connected to the original being with all their memories and thoughts and feelings, but I guess have some sort of like underlying, we'll say, programming to do a specific task. And
Was
then when
Wyndham-
they're done,
Was Wyndham Earl a tulpa, or was he just really into tulpas?
He was into Dugpas.
Oh, that's right.
What's the difference again?
A Dugpa is like some sort of monk. Tibetan monk, I think.
Okay.
Maybe? I don't know.
Is that why he's named Dougie?
Yeah.
So a tulpa is
everything
just like
connects.
a doppelganger then.
Yeah, is there a difference between a tulpa and a doppelganger?
I feel like there is, sort of. It seems like there is.
I feel like we just, like, we dropped doppelgangers for tulpas the same way we dropped owls for woodsmen. And, like, an awesome show for season 3.
Yes.
I mean, unless doppelgangers have more faculties, or like if one, because like, is it? I was never really convinced on my own understanding of it. If like, Bad Cooper is just the bad version of Cooper, and all of us have one in the Black Lodge, or if it's like a specific thing because he went into the Black Lodge that it created the Bad Cooper.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know if there's a clear answer on that or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, she goes up to the room with all the FBI agents in it, and she sits down and tells them about her night with Coop the last time she saw him. It's about 4 years after he disappeared originally. Came by and asked about what the FBI was doing, and then he raped her, which I guess we had guessed before. But
Yeah.
It was very intense when she said it. I was just like, whoa, man. I mean, like, Bad Cooper is bad, but, like, good lord. I liked how she also said they kissed and it had only happened once before, you know? Because that kind of clarified, like, okay, that was sort of the nature of their relationship. Because you never knew if they were, like,
Romantically involved.
Yeah, or, like, to what extent.
Yeah.
So are these genuine emotions, or is she faking it to throw them off guard so she can shoot them?
I think it's very stressful for a tulpa to remember that they're a tulpa.
Yeah.
Because like all the memories are coming back, and
Well, it's like she's fighting against herself.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it seemed to me that she was, struggling against her programming, or however you want to look at it. Like, I think that was a very real struggle for her.
So also, she's saying I'm in the sheriff's station. So is she Nido?
That's what I was wondering. I don't know.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
She's either Nido or that guy that's leaking from his mouth.
Maybe she's Chad.
Oh god.
Oh, there you go. Case closed.
Chad's face is just gonna break open like an egg, and Diane will be inside.
No, I'm guessing she's Nido, and I'm guessing that Candy is Laura Palmer.
Really?
Yeah, Candy's gonna get to Twin Peaks and just turn into Laura Palmer at some point.
Whoa, that's intense.
Yeah.
Either that, or I don't know. Like, we better get an answer about why she's acting so weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, those Candy, all three of them are just, like, very bizarre. Yes. I don't understand why they behave the way they do.
Yeah.
What if all three of them are Laura Palmer combined?
Whoa. It's like the Triforce.
Yes.
So...
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Where did we get the name Nido?
The credits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we only knew through the credits. Like, we knew Richard Horne's name, like, weeks before they ever said it because of the credits, basically.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Interesting.
So, yeah, then she pulls out a gun, and did you guys all catch the shot where Tammy just disappears for a split second?
Oh,
Does she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, it's obviously just editing mistake. Like, again.
No, it's really brilliant and intentioned, and so you just don't get it.
every shot is like a 2-shot of Albert and Tammy together at that desk. And there's a shot of them together, then it goes back to Diane, she pulls her gun, it goes back to Albert and Tammy, but Tammy's gone. It lasts a second, maybe less, then it goes back to Diane, then it goes back to Tammy and Albert, and Tammy is back. She's just not there for 1 sec.
Well, she is just an object, so...
Right. She's just a pop singer that David Lynch likes to have around.
Yeah. So...
Sometimes David Lynch forgets a woman's in a scene.
Oh, no.
He's not staring directly at her.
If she's not talking, it's like she's not even there.
He doesn't notice when they talk.
Unless he can't understand them because they're speaking in a foreign language.
That's right.
Then they shoot Diane and she's whisked away.
And no bullet holes in her or the wall. Unless there are little ones in the chair, but they didn't look big enough to be bullet holes.
She swallowed the bullet, and that's why there was a little gold ball left behind. It got converted. That's like her little like soul thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Deed.
Her essence.
Right.
So I do love the way she just like disappears.
Yeah.
The effects are so funny. And I mean, like, I know that they're intentionally ridiculous, but, like, so when she turns into the seed in the Black Lodge in the next scene, it's like, it's so funny. It's like, I could have done that in, like, 3 hours in After Effects, like, without, while watching something else.
Why would you intend for a scene like that to be funny, I wonder? Like, would you really want people to be laughing at this?
Maybe
like,
it's not supposed to be funny, maybe it's supposed to be off-putting because it's so bad.
It's not really scary. It's obviously terrible, but maybe this is because we recognize a special effect when we see it,
Yeah. I think David Lynch is enamored with those kind of older After Effects like compositing processes, like, and really funny superimpositions and locked camera, superimpositions and all those kinds of things. Like, I think he just likes them. I think he thinks they're fun and like quaint, maybe, or he wants this show to feel similar to the older seasons, but that's not really consistent either. Because I mean, it's funny because he used similar effects in episode 3 or 4 when those couples with the gratuitous nudity get like eaten, destroyed by that monster from the glass box. Like that entire monster showing up in the glass box scene uses like a lot of really cool VFX tricks, and it looked so awesome. Like, I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, I like that too.
But they're like similar, a few like kind of weird little chintzy tricks, But yeah, this one it was not realistically effective, but like funny if you're like interesting if you're trying to draw attention to the filmmaking, which I think he probably was, but I don't know.
I find his special effects work better when they're practical, personally.
Yeah.
Like David Lynch, I find he's much better at doing that.
He's got to do another Eraserhead baby.
Yeah. But I know that stuff takes way longer, and I know that they didn't have the time for it, like Eraserhead. What, did that take like 9 years or something to make? Like, I know he doesn't have time.
7 years.
Yeah, it took a long time, so.
So Diane tells Mike she says fuck you, and then she pops out of existence, turns into a golden ball. So I don't know,
I wonder if the real Diane will have more like, normal fashions.
Better hair.
Better hair. I don't know.
Yeah, that wig is pretty obvious.
It's so obvious.
I liked her nails though.
Yeah, her nails were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tulpa's got some personality.
Yes. But it's just like every Tulpa has had bad fashions. Like Dougie had that awful lime green, like Kermit the Frog coat.
Yeah. That's how you
Maybe
know.
that's the tell, yeah.
I think so.
God, so Lucy's a tulpa?
She's just annoying.
She might be. I mean, she's not quite herself, so.
Yeah, she seems different.
Yeah.
But I don't want any more tulpas. We've got enough.
Too many tulpas.
That's the album name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too many tulpas. So the Mitchum brothers greet Coop at their casino, and then Coop says goodbye to his fake family.
Really, like, in a terrible kind of non-convincing way. Like, no, I am Dougie. Don't worry about it.
That worked for Sonny Jim. It didn't work
Sort
for
of.
Janie, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can we also talk about how weirdly turned on she gets by him driving?
Yeah.
That was bizarre.
Well, she seems to have a very on-off kind of switch, Janie E. Like, he does something, like, if he exhibits any kind of aptitude to being a human being, and she's just, like, ready to go.
This was more than I expected from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Human being.
Well, because you have to think, like, she married him when he was that crappy Talpa, you know? So it's like, this is a step up.
Wow. She had low standards for herself.
Right.
Seriously.
But yeah, so this was kind of a nice scene. I thought, like, Cooper's genuine emotions, like, they touched his heart. He loves them. He remembers everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. And it's informational. Like, we now understand, like, okay, Cooper was in there the whole time. He does know everything that's been happening.
Yeah.
Which is important for us to know. Like, I guess we could have gotten it from knowing where the snub-nosed gun was, but whatever.
Yeah. No, I was glad they included that. Then we go to the Mitchum brothers in the car with Coop, and he's told them the whole story.
Yeah.
A shocking move, because, like, he only had things to lose by telling them the truth. Like, they could have been like, you're the Fuzz? No way, I'm not letting you use my plane. Like, he already had everything he needed from them. He could have just, like, sat there.
Yeah.
And then gotten to Twin Peaks, you know?
Yeah, I guess the Twin Peaks lands on the runway, and then he's like, by the way, I'm FBI. Hee hee, and it runs off.
See you later. Exactly.
Also,
nothing to gain.
why would you believe him? Like, he's just come back. He just woke up from a coma and is acting completely differently than you know him previously.
Yeah.
I guess that's the Dougie narrative, though. Like, even Janie E. was always like, he goes into these fugue states from time to time, tra-la-la, no big deal, you know? So, like, everyone in Vegas just, like, knows this about Dougie. They've got guys handing out flyers about it.
It gets around. It's a small town.
Yeah.
PSA on every TV station.
Yes.
Yeah. If you meet this guy, he's fine. Don't worry about it. Give him some coffee.
Oh, speaking of coffee. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. That the smell in that limo must be so weird because of Jim Belushi drinking that Bloody Mary. So there's like tomato juice smell plus coffee.
Yeah.
That's not Jim Belushi at all, you know?
I have this weird coworker one time who was like, she would get like physically ill if somebody put hot liquid in a clear glass. So he had his coffee in a clear glass, and I just thought of her. If she saw that, she'd be like, bleh, bleh. It was the strangest thing, but it was hilarious.
That is bizarre.
Hot drink in a clear glass. Oh God.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, this is where the Hearts of Gold line comes in, and yeah, I don't buy it.
No.
I mean, unless it was just Cooper being funnel Cooper and just like telling them what they need to hear, which again, what should have been nothing. But you know, if he was like, "Oh crap, they might not let me use this plane," you got Hearts of Gold.
He's just buttering them up.
Yeah.
Just like he was buttering up Sonny Jim and Janie E.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a pleaser.
Yes.
Then we cut to the Roadhouse, and we got Eddie Louis Severson? Is that
Eddie Vedder.
Is that his real name?
Yeah, I was like, what?
I didn't.
And
even
then
look up.
in the songs, at the end of the credits, it said Eddie Vedder, so it was like weird.
Yeah.
I guess that must be his real name. I don't know.
Maybe he just didn't want to be like a Eddie Vedder as a character. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's also weird because it's like if you're trying to if the whole spiel is, you know, the Nine Inch Nails, like here's someone you've heard of, you know, like because that's why the guy's introducing it. It just didn't. I didn't know that name, but I don't know. I assumed everyone else did, so.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to be canonically part of Twin Peaks. Use a different name.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's a nice song. I liked it.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
I was starting to get it, like, I'm just starting to get annoyed with the Roadhouse. Well, it's almost the end of the season. But I just really got annoyed with this one. I was like, okay, like, this is just too, like, another, like, kind of like famous guy like shows up at the Roadhouse. Like I know it's not actually, and maybe that's the reason they didn't want to say Eddie Vedder, because they didn't want to be like, okay, like we can't have too many famous people show up because it won't be believable. But I know this is Eddie Vedder, so this already doesn't make it believable. Like,
but this whole Roadhouse scene may not even be real, or probably isn't real, or who cares?
Yeah.
Or like the Eddie Vedder half wasn't real, like who knows, yeah.
Audrey and Charlie come in, and they have a toast to, well, he says to us, she says to Billy.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. And then, things get real weird, and the announcer announces, ladies and gentlemen, Audrey's dance.
Right.
And then, Mel, when you were watching, you were like, fuck this. You had such a strong reaction to this.
Well, the whole Roadhouse thing had already kind of pissed me off. I was just like, alright, like, I'm sick of the Roadhouse, and they're like, and it's not that I don't like the musical acts or anything, but it's just like...
Doesn't always fit.
It doesn't always fit, and it's just, I don't know, it just makes me angry.
They're like,
it reminds me of everything I don't like about the show.
Well, they're pacing murder. Like,
yeah.
In the worst episodes, I was tempted. I don't think I ever did it, but I was tempted to just fast forward through them because I know that the credits are about to come up, you know. And it's like, which is kind of a gambit on their part, because like, I mean, they shook it up a few episodes back where the song came in the middle, and then I was like, what, is it the end already? And then I'm like, oh, okay, no, there's like a weird itchy lady still. But like, you know, this time I was like, okay, it's probably the end. And so I kind of like check out, you know? Right. And then Audrey walked in, and I was like, oh, okay, it's still happening, and then I checked back in.
So yeah, it's almost like your cue to
stop caring.
Yeah.
Or to continue not caring in most of
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
As soon as Audrey walked in, I was like, oh, well, I guess it's not the whole coma or dream or whatever thing again. Huh.
Yeah.
Don't really care, but alright, whatever.
Surprise,
and then the scene goes on, it's like,
on a spaceship.
Huh,
she's on a spaceship?
That's why I hope she's on a spaceship. Bender's got his toy.
I love it.
You still haven't sent that picture of Bender.
Yeah, we still need a dog picture.
Yeah. I mean, a UFO wouldn't be out of the ordinary. There's a lot of UFOs in the book that Mark Frost wrote.
That's true.
Really?
Yeah. Aliens, at least.
Oh, wow.
Oh
there's a lot of things in that book.
Mm-hmm.
Including L. Ron Hubbard and Richard Nixon.
It's wacky.
It's wacky. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like it gave me a really visceral reaction because it felt so... on the nose, I guess, like that Audrey's it's like it's fan service.
Do you feel better about it now, knowing that it's a dream?
Nah. I mean, it was kind of neat to see her being stuck. Like, I liked seeing the actual Audrey. I know this isn't the real Audrey. Like, this Audrey is just like, she's obviously frustrated that she doesn't know what's happening and she can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So it was more interesting to me to see the scared Audrey, like what's going on.
Right.
Like, you know.
And that was like the first time her performance seemed true too. Like, yeah, because every time that there was an Audrey scene before, I was like, man, I used to love Audrey. Like, this is so annoying. Like, these scenes, there's nothing to grab onto. You don't care about you don't know who they're talking about. You don't care about any of this. It makes no sense. The performances are very weird. The writing is stilted. And now it's like, okay, I guess because it was fake, that's, you know, quote unquote excusable.
No, that's the thing though. Like, because like from the first one of those stupid scenes, people were like, "Oh, I think she's in a coma," or "I think it's all a dream," and a lot of people were saying all that, and I was like, "It doesn't matter. Like, it's crap either way."
Yeah.
Like, if you pull an M. Night Shyamalan twist, hey, guess what? The Village is still a shitty movie.
Right. I called the twist to that before getting to the theater. It's like, yeah.
Oh no!
Well, like,
just a quick divergence about The Village for a second. I went in assuming, I thought going in that the movie was about like Amish people, so I didn't even know it was a twist.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great. I think it'd be pretty strange to make this Audrey thing so big when they only started it in like the last part of the season. So I just can't see it having any weight or importance.
Yeah.
Well, and it's another example, like we were talking about with Dougie Jones, is like bad dramatic irony, where it's like from second one, everyone's like, oh, because she's in a weird dream reality, that's cool. Like, and then stretch that out for 4 or 5 episodes. It's like it's not effective.
Yeah. The thing
like
that
Legion episode 6.
The thing I didn't like about this is that they used that song. That's like, I love the Twin Peaks soundtrack, but that's my least favorite song on it. I just hate that. I think I mentioned it in like our second episode way back in 2011 when I was like, I hate Audrey's theme. I hate that fake sounding horn that goes boor boor boor.
I hate the wonky horn.
Like, the wonky horn. Like,
It is very hilarious. Yeah,
I've always hated
it's like a MIDI horn.
I forgot about that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
I don't know. To me,
that way.
that is Twin Peaks. That sound.
Really?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
weird, like.
I mean, I
Audrey-
like
Yeah.
I like everything else in the soundtrack. It's just this one song.
I feel like that sound in like Ben and Jerry like eating sandwiches, like that's what I want from Twin Peaks.
Free and yeah.
Dancing on the desk and
It's weird and goofy and enjoyable.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
if Jerry Horn
Yeah.
finds a cheese sandwich where Richard Horn got zapped next episode?
Oh.
What if Richard Horn turned into a sandwich?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
If he
from
brings
me.
it back to his brother and then they eat his grandkid as a sandwich, then all of it was worth it.
Yeah.
And they like relish it. They like really enjoy it. The
Where did you
sandwich.
find the sandwich?
Like truffles and yeah.
It's like 45 minutes of them just going,
Vast improvement.
the entire last episode.
Yes.
Oh,
Real
man.
time eating sandwiches.
Oh, so charming. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yep. All right. Well, that's basically the episode.
And we get like the weird like backwards like playing band at the end
Over
of the
the
credits.
credits,
yeah.
I thought that was kind of fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a scene, like a bunch of episodes ago, where my roommate Omar pointed this out, where it was like a reverse shot on Hawk and maybe Bobby or one of the other cops, and it was in reverse, where Hawk's eyes, but it was in the real world.
He blinked backwards.
Yeah, he blinked and like looked. You could tell from the way his eyes moved that it was reversed, but it was in the normal reality.
Weird.
And I mean, our theory was that it was just they needed the shot. They needed him to look that way for coverage. But like,
Right.
I was wondering if there was any significance or if you guys caught on to that. But I don't remember
No, I
where it
didn't
was.
notice
So
that. But I've noticed so many things where it's just clear that they're editing
Yeah.
around a lack of footage.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's all it was too. Yeah.
All right. So, are we all ready to rate this?
No, that's not all it was. That's
What?
not all it was. There's significance to this. It means something.
All right. 18-hour
It's so focused.
movie.
It's so focused, guys. It's
Yeah.
the most focused thing if you change the definition of the word focus.
Right. That 4-minute shot of that guy sweeping the floor totally meant something.
I did hear people say, like, at the time, I've mentioned this before, but I just found it so ridiculous that people mention that. They're like, it's like he's sweeping together all the plot threads. That's what this means. Like,
No.
I'm like, come on.
Really reaching.
And I just want to say before people start lashing out again, you can go back and listen to the podcast. I had no problem with the sweeping scene. You guys had a problem with the sweeping scene. I'm okay with it. So just for the record, when you start like messaging me and tweeting at me and emailing me and whatever the fuck you're gonna do, I don't have a problem with the sweeping scenes. So fuck off.
I find people tend to confuse our feelings. Like, they tend to take us all as one person. Whereas, you know, we all
True.
each have our
Yeah.
separate opinions about this show. And I don't know why people just latch on to you, Brad, for some reason. Like, they just, like, feel like, oh, like, Brad will be fun to talk to. Let's, like, try to, like, poke at him and see what he says.
Oy,
Yeah.
oy.
Well, and it's like
Obviously, they don't hear any girls when they listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
I know!
they're
no,
like David Lynch. Yeah.
Yeah! Yes!
I mean, I watch Twin Peaks in a similar fashion to how I watch Game of Thrones or even Star Wars sometimes. Like, you know, I'm just here to be entertained, you know, and if it only fails if I'm not thinking about it, or like, you know, if the pretty colors and sounds don't turn off my mind for an hour, like then you've got a problem. And so, like, the times when I've gotten angry at Twin Peaks are those where I feel like it's David Lynch, like, doing some kind of bizarre, like, endurance test on his fan base just to see how much they'll take. But, like, yeah, all in all, I'm having fun. I'm still watching it, you know, like, whatever. It's all fun.
Yes.
Again, listeners, I'm complaining a lot, but I like this episode. To prove it, I give it 9 out of 10 guns in the hospital.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
Big
Like,
time.
I think I gave one other episode a 9 out of 10, but this is probably up there with my favorite episodes this season. Yeah, we just like to pick things apart. It's fun. It's entertaining for us.
It'd be too short of a podcast if we were all just like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I loved everything. Ian, do you have a rating ready to go?
Yeah, I'll give it 8 out of 10. Audrey, what? Compared to many other episodes, I say, like, again, like, essential arc episodes, I would call this one of them. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 13, 14, and this one probably. Mm-hmm. If my memory is correct, maybe it's not totally accurate. 13, 14 gets a little swimmy. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, if you were to do a fan edit, you would use shots from this episode, and I think that makes it good.
Yeah, you would use a lot of it, yeah.
All
right, Mel?
Yeah, I'm probably going to give it a 8 out of 10. Unexpectedly violent neighbors. Yeah, it was fine. It was a fine episode, but yeah, there's still moments where I'm just like, yeah, like you waited too long to do this, and now you're picking the wrong time, and but whatever, it's almost done.
Those last 2 hours are gonna be great, Mel.
They're gonna make everything else worthwhile. That's what I've been promised.
Yeah,
that's what they keep saying.
Better deliver.
Caitlin?
Yeah, I enjoyed the episode, though it seemed a bit casual for everything that happened. It was some very exciting scenes with the Diane Tulpa and the murderous accountant and such. Yeah, I liked it, but it's just the way they carried things about was not the way that, I don't know, it just wasn't satisfying considering what's happened, everything in the season so far. I would still give it 8 out of 10 nourishing finger sandwiches.
You use your fingers, that's why they're called that.
I was very happy they explained that.
Yeah. I kind of noticed Jim Belushi was like manhandling that child the whole scene.
Gross.
What?
He was like playing with his fingers and he was like squeezing his arms, feeling his muscles and stuff.
Weird.
Oh no, but it was like he didn't squeeze his muscles. He squeezed like his fist.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
It was like every kid needs a gym set. Oh, look at you! And it's like it's like he was supposed to squeeze a muscle, but instead he squeezed the fist. And I was like, that's even weirder.
I've never seen a child before.
What is this?
What is that? Like a small man? What is this?
What's wrong with this guy?
He's got some tiny little fists. Look at that.
Brad, what do you think?
This episode, I mean, things happened. It moved along. The Diane scene was great. I'm very upset about our Cheeto Queen dying. She was one of the best characters in the series, and I'm very upset that she's gone. But that scene was good. Very upset Jim Belushi didn't get shot. Should have happened. I just, all the things that happened, like the way Coop came back, like Audrey in a dream, like Audrey doing the dance and waking up in a dream or in an institution or whatever. It's like
spaceship.
Our spaceship, definitely a spaceship, with Richard Nixon and L. Ron Hubbard.
Yep.
Oh my God, please.
You know what?
Just a bunch of owls.
If she wakes up in a spaceship filled with owls, L. Ron Hubbard, and Richard Nixon, I take it all back. I take it all back.
It was all worth it.
Oh, it would so be worth it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's all the things people keep saying that this show isn't, that it clearly is. It's just not very well done. And I don't know. Like, even though this was one of the better episodes, I don't know. This show has been slowly dying for me since episode 8. And I just, I don't care about anything. Like, Audrey walked into the bar, I was like, oh, I guess that wasn't a dream. I don't care. Oh, I guess that was all a spaceship dream. Huh, I still don't care. So, yeah, I don't know. But it was entertaining. It kept moving. 8 out of 10 final Cheetos.
I have a question for all of you. Who do we want to play Richard Nixon and L. Ron Hubbard?
Ooh.
I don't know. I want, who was it? Is it Michael Ian Black or?
I was just thinking of Michael. Yeah, Showalter. I think Showalter.
Yes!
And Ian Black is Bush, or is it the other way around? I was just thinking that too.
They should both play both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would
Like
be great.
superimposed over each other. Both of them are playing both of them.
Yes.
Oh, they're a two-headed creature.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Or it just cuts to clips from the Master, just like playing on a TV in the spaceship.
I want what's his face from the X-Files, and
Ugh.
he also played he also played Mark Twain
in
on
TNG.
in TNG.
Oh no!
Yes, I totally want him to play Richard Nixon.
Yeah,
The guy who played Deep Throat.
Mr. Mulder, it's me, Mark Twain.
Yes. That's my favorite Mark Twain ever.
Times Arrow, is that episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Garden, it's me, Mark Twain.
I'm fine with you being an alien. Yeah. I like that episode. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
This here spaceship is quite something. Makes me want to write a story.
How about a rap?
All right, so it's time to get to the feedback. We've got 9 pieces of feedback.
Whoa.
I'll read the first one. Ian, if you're on a time restriction, you can leave.
I'm alright. I'm just very warm.
Cool.
Oh, I'm
All right.
sorry.
Okay. Fair.
All right, well, you can dump a bucket of ice on yourself while I read this one. All right. Hey all, just some quick thoughts from yesterday's episode. My initial reaction when Coop woke up from the coma wasn't so much joy as it was regret.
Yes.
It wasn't such a feeling of, oh, I'm so happy that Dale Cooper's back, as it was, why didn't this happen sooner? Why did it take this long to get here? Mm-hmm. I can't help but think Season 3 robbed us. Lynch Frost spent 15 episodes on a Dougie storyline that could have been resolved in 3. Completely wasted opportunity. So as happy as I am with Dale Cooper's return, I still have this morose feeling of regret over what Season 3 could have been. That and I can't use the hashtag #DieDougieDie anymore. Later all, thanks. Mist from Chicago.
Mist.
Thank you.
I agree with that 100%. When I realized that the return meant Cooper getting back to his real body instead of just like something cool,
Yeah.
I got really depressed.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't just him getting back to his body, it's like everything returning to Twin Peaks in the final
Right.
hour.
In the final hour, yeah.
Yeah. Mel, do you mind reading this one?
I'll read this one.
From Daniel?
Yeah. Hey, Twin Peaks podcast. In some aspects, one could say it feels Season 3 just started. This episode went at a breakneck speed to make up for lost time and indulged in extra helpings of nostalgia and fan service. But I thought the constant parade of FBI, the Meacham brothers, Candy, Sandy and Mandy, and the assassins was just a lot of fun to watch in that wacky, absurd way that can often lighten up a Lynch flick. Though being painfully electrocuted was fitting end to the little shit Richard Horn, not in the literal sense. He says, not in a literal sense like, I support the electric chair death penalty, but in the karmic storytelling, bad guys get what's coming to them sense. I'm like, so, is that it? They sure spent a lot of time building up that character, now confirmed as the doppelganger's son. If we don't get anything else about him, I'll be very puzzled why the fireman so ominously mentioned his name in the first scene of part 1.
Right.
So, Diane was taught form, thought form, which, what's that? Well, I've never seen that word before. Diane was thought form, which looks like the same sort of being the original Dougie was. I'll go on a limb and say that Bad Dale must have dragged Briggs to the convenience store at some point and made a thought form. What is this word? Of him as well. Remember?
Douglas thought forms, it's all the same.
I'm just confused. There's a lot of ways to describe these things. Explaining most of the unanswered discrepancies in his story. I guess the doppelganger, you mean thought form?
No, you mean Dougpa?
You mean Tulpa?
No, wait. It says, wait. I guess the doppelganger just went around making evil thought forms out of his old friends. Hope that helps. No, it doesn't. I'm more confused now. Remember all of these people defending the Dougie storyline as not just enjoyable but necessary, because having Cooper's old self suddenly return after a 25-year traumatic psychic ordeal would be unrealistic, stupid, cheap fan service, nostalgia. And Lynch, the visionary auteur, isn't interested in banal matters, like giving viewers what they want. He gives viewers what we need. Yeah. It's funny, those people are over the moon right now. It's true, they are. Because if they're honest, this is what they really wanted all along. Right down to queuing up the Julie Cruz theme song. Maybe now they can shut up and admit that the return indulges plenty of pure fan service and nostalgia when it wants to.
Oh, burn!
Yeah. Cooper telling Mike to make another Dougie is just his way of making sure he doesn't get saddled with a court order to pay child support on Sunny Jim after leaving them.
Oh, God.
Nice.
That's very smart of him, actually.
Yeah.
So, the scene with Audrey, we hear the Roadhouse MC announce Audrey's dance and then play a recording of her original theme on the soundtrack, as if it were live music within that world, calling her to the stage to perform an encore of her famously sexy diner dance, as the crowd makes room and sways on time to watch. And that's where I actually wish it would have stayed. It was such a surreal, bizarre meta space, and it could have ended on the note that, yeah, that's the world of Twin Peaks. And it's really weird, surreal, and diegetic. Did I pronounce that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Like seeing James Hurley play Just You and I on stage, instead of cutting to the reveal that Audrey's actually in a white room in some other place, and that was all in her head, I guess. Because now we have to look back and go, was this real? Was that real? Etc. You know what would really be the absolute cruelest thing Lynch could do? Leave the episode we just saw as the exciting setup for the ultimate climax payoff that just never comes. No showdown between Cooper and his doppelganger in Twin Peaks at high noon. Because Audrey is awake now. Not yet. Maybe, I don't know. The dream is gone, and the present world is something completely different. Can you imagine the reaction? Alright, 2 more to go. For your sakes, I hope the payoff works for you. Daniel. Thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
I already know the reaction. The reaction would be, this is the most brilliant thing ever. Because that's always the reaction no matter what.
Yeah.
Caitlin, do you want to read one?
Sure.
You can read one too, Ian, at some point if you don't mind.
Sure.
Brad, pay attention. There's a cue in here later for you.
Oh, I'll be prepped.
Okay. Dear Twin Peaks podcast, another great episode. And no, I'm not saying that every time just to spite you. I genuinely think they are. When I first saw Duper Kooky...
Whoa.
The tongue twister.
I'm not gonna be able to read this. Okay. Duper Cuggy in a coma. I thought... Coogie. Oh, it's Dougie though, so it'd be Cuggy. Anyways. In a coma, I thought, okay, so David Lynch had been trolling us the whole time. But then everything happened a lot quicker than I expected, and for me the payoff was huge. I confess that when Kyle MacLachlan finally and effortlessly returned to his old Cooper self, I sat in my sofa with tears in my eyes and a broad grin on my face. This show means so much to me, and it was more emotional than I ever expected. When he said, I am the FBI, I silently cheered. Yes, it was a really cheesy line, but I don't care. It was fun and needed. On the other side of the good-evil spectrum, we had Booper Cobb.
I'm so glad I'm not reading this.
Using his son to investigate a potential trap when poor old Jerry Horn as a witness. Nice, although a bit startling to see Richard get his comeuppance. No father-son bonding for Richard and Cobb. Unfortunately, we also had to say goodbye to Hutch and the Queen of Cheese in a scene that was as entertaining as it was gruesome. So Diane is a tulpa? Her retelling of her memories seemed genuine enough, though, and I must say that Laura Dern has been flawless this whole season. On a side note, the fellows at Bickering Peaks... Yes, I must confess, I have not been faithful to you, Twin Peaks podcast. I listened to other Peaks podcasts as well.
How dare you?
Had a theory that Tulpa Diane Tulpan? Okay, Tulpan might be related to the American Girl in the 3rd episode, since the song American Woman was playing when Diane made her entrance. Coincidence?
Yes.
And Audrey seems to be in a different place, just as many predicted. But is it a coma, a dream, the Black Lodge, the White Lodge?
Yeah, I thought about the White Lodge too when I saw her, but I don't know.
There hasn't been much mention of white or black lodges in this season.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's gone the way of the owls.
No.
I'm really looking forward to the final 2 episodes next week, but I'm also very sad that it will be over. This season has been polarizing, and I can see why, but I'm really eager to rewatch the whole thing and enjoy this 18-hour movie from beginning to end.
Yes!
No!
Brad, why are you slapping Daniel?
Thanks, Daniel.
You brought it on yourself.
Until next time, all the best. Daniel Mueller.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Ian, if you're able to, there's
I see it.
one from Will.
Will says, I'm sure you'll hear this a lot this week, but I'll say it anyway. About fucking time. I had a big grin on my face when Cooper was giving out orders, and when the Twin Peaks theme started playing, I was more emotional than I've been all season. I haven't been 100% sure something weird was going on with Audrey, but I was convinced when they introduced Eddie Vedder by his real name. Glad that we finally got to see my boy in the show. I wish he performed a better song, however.
Aww.
Is Richard's death... Yeah, okay. Is Richard's death satisfying after all the stuff he's done? No Twin Peaks makes Will sad, but I'm sure we'll get a lot of it next week. Take care, Will.
Yeah, there wasn't much actual Twin Peaks in this episode.
Yeah. Is next week a twofer? Or is...
Yep, it's
Oh,
the finale.
So the final two are playing back-to-back?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Heavens.
Yep.
Jeez Louise.
Yep. All right, I'll read this one from Ryan. Hey, TPP. Before I began watching this episode, I was scared. This show has doppelgangers and manufactured clones. Episode 8 gave us the infamous screensaver scenes, so going into episode 16, in some ways episode 8's double, I was expecting another screensaver moment. I'm glad we didn't get that, but I do think the title of this episode should have been anticlimactic. Here's why. In the very first episode, we were given the name Richard from the Giant. Fireman, Lurch, whatever his name is this week. We're led to believe this name is important. We finally see Richard and observe all of his evil crimes against the kid, the teacher, and his grandmother. We find out he's a horn. So there is this expectation by the viewers that this is a critical character and all we've witnessed has a purpose. Then Richard meets Dark Coop and he's thrown away like a cheese sandwich.
Yes!
Oh my god, we were talking about him turn into a cheese sandwich.
Oh, yeah. Guys, see, it's so deep. You didn't even get it at first. Why did you question it?
Yeah, we know what's going on, David Lynch. We know what you're up to.
He inceptioned us.
Yes.
What was the purpose of all the crimes we observed before? We didn't need to see any of it. Richard could have been some random guy Dark Coop picked up to check out the electrified rock. Meanwhile, Good Cooper was told to remember Richard. I wonder if Cooper will remember, or will ever meet Richard, and for what purpose.
He'll find his dead body.
You'll find that sandwich,
He'll shed a tear while he's eating the sandwich.
Then we've been crawling and crawling with Dougie Coop for 15 miserable episodes. Coffee doesn't bring him back. Pie doesn't bring him back. A statue of a police officer doesn't bring him back. Being hit in the head by a baseball doesn't bring him back. The name Gordon Cole lights a fire, but it's not until he electrocutes himself and awakes from a coma that Cooper receives all of his faculties back. Seriously? There was no purpose to those previous 15 or so episodes. All in all, though, I can't hate this episode. I'm relieved I didn't get another screensaver episode, and Cooper is finally back. But I just wish this all took place back near the beginning, say episode 3 or 4. Well, 2 hours left. Like Willy Wonka said, so much time and so little to do. Wait a minute, strike that, reverse it. Thanks, Ryan.
Yes, thank you.
Here's one from Harold.
I've enjoyed this season immensely, but I was absolutely thrilled by the return of Dale Cooper, being his confident and masterful self. Even coming out of a coma, he knew exactly where his clothes were stored and could describe Bushnell's revolver without ever seeing it. The way I see it, we just saw the first hour of a 3-hour movie about Cooper going after his evil doppelganger.
So, what? It's like a movie within a movie?
Oh. Guys, really, when you're watching an 18-hour movie, the thing you have to remember is the first 15 hours don't really count. It's the last 3 hours of the second movie that's part of the first movie that are important. So keep that in mind for the future when you're watching 18-hour movies, as we all do. Where am I?
That was basically all.
That was basically all I ever wanted to see. If Lynch and Frost had come back only for that, I would have been excited beyond belief. To get an additional 15 hours is just icing on the cake. What a cake. Richard's answer to Mr. C's question was so wrong that I was taken aback when Mr. C seemingly agreed with him. Even knowing everything that I do about Mr. C, I didn't think that he would be so cold as to use his own son as a canary in a coal mine. I was just... Really? Did you not? Did you... Really? Okay.
It's pretty damn evil.
Yeah, I mean, he's Soup's evil. He's raped, everybody. So, yeah, he'll put his son on a rock and make him turn into sparklers. I was disappointed that Richard was dispatched so quickly. I was looking forward to a father-son team-up, or maybe a showdown between Richard and Glove Boy.
Again, we don't know if Richard hasn't turned into Ernest, so...
Yeah.
Very true. Oh god. Okay, Ernest Richard versus Ian Fist. That's for you, Chris. Versus Bushnell.
Yes.
And Sonny Jim, who's gotten super strong from working on the gym set.
May the best man win.
Yeah.
Oh, Sonny Jim's going down. Those little muscles can't do anything. What are you talking about? Oh,
It's his fist that's powerful.
Yeah.
it's true. What was the deal with the accounting guy? He sure didn't look or act like any accountant I've ever seen. Was he there to protect Dougie? Or this is a commentary on today's America, where so many people feel the need to have assault weapons to protect their turf? Or maybe this guy was the Walter White of his own TV show, and there was a special crossover event. I would rather watch that show.
Yes.
I don't need an explanation for this one. I just love how it played out. I feel like Tulpa Diane's story about Cooper's last visit was a true memory of the real Diane from before she was manufactured. Did the all text mean that she had to suppose?
I think she was supposed to.
Did the all text mean that she had to suppose to send the entire coordinates? Tell all to kill or kill them all.
This is a thing that happens, Ian, when Brad stumbles reading the feedback. Morgan Freeman comes in and saves him.
Oh, I see. I can.
It's not so much when I stumble, it's when the person writing the email stumbles.
True.
Since we are all new to this Tulpa thing, I'm wondering how it works. Is there a psychic connection between the original and the Tulpas? For example, does Cooper have Dougie's memories? Yeah, clearly. Or he's like a really good guess.
He is the FBI.
It is Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this because I feel like Audrey is being kept in one of these other worlds, and possibly she's been replaced by a Tulpa. Neither Ben or Richard ever said that she was missing. In fact, Richard mentioned that Richard did not have a father growing up. He never said that he lacked a mother. And Richard said that his mother had a picture of Cooper. So are there two Audreys? One who is in the netherworld, and another who is passing along. Perhaps unconsciously, news of Twin Peaks, which is filtering into Audrey's dreams about Charlie, Billy, and the Roadhouse. Oh, I'm sure we'll have I'll have 2 hours to deal with that. Of everything in the series so far, the end credit sequence with the band playing backwards was one of the scenes that felt like it could have been dropped seamlessly into the original series. I'm curious about what you were hoping for in the finale. Me? Question mark. I want a 10-minute scene with Lucy and Candy trying to figure out how to forward a call to the conference room. Yes! Yes!
No.
Sold. Bring it. I give this 10 out of 10 ominous last bags of Cheetos.
Nice. Thanks, Harold. All right.
We get a kitty picture.
What?
Yeah. I know, Brad. I know you don't care about.
Oh,
cats,
thank
but...
you.
Oh, but it's a kitty. Aw. I don't know. I'm losing my mind.
Just 1 sec. I'm gonna copy it and paste it.
He's got a dog name, if that helps.
It would help more if it was a dog.
It's also a video.
Whoa.
We'll have to post that in the group or something. All right, so we've got 2 left. This one is from Ari. Any
Want me to
volunteers?
read it?
Yeah, sure, if you want.
Or if Caitlin wants to read it.
I would be happy to read it, but if you want to read it, go ahead.
You can
Let's-
tag team it.
Let's tag team it. And
So, like, every other word? Is that how it's going?
Yeah, let's do that.
No.
Why not? It would be
Please.
so much fun. We can have like an all-out fight over it.
Yeah,
Over...
she's got a list here.
I'll punch Caitlin.
You can alternate. You can alternate on the list. Maybe.
You can read half the list and I'll read the other half.
Okay.
No, whatever, just read it.
Okay, I'll read it. I got it. Alright, Ultimate Season is done. I need to spend my energy somewhere. Okay. Hello, Twin Peaks Podcast. How are you today? I hope I'm not late for episode 16. I found your podcast via Google Play after I binge-watched the entire original series with my husband while we were on summer break from teaching. I have enjoyed listening to your takes on the series this season because oftentimes I feel we are on the same page. I am so excited to write feedback and finally get it sent in. I've done it before, but always forget to send it on time. Here's my stream of consciousness from watching the show. Okay. Husband, driving on dark roads again. Me, at least there's music. Where Mr. C and Richard end up. Wait, are we in Twin Peaks? This looks like South Dakota. Is geocaching still a thing? What is Mr. C up to? Yay, that Richard is dead. And apparently he's the son of evil Cooper. Ew, that means, gross. Yeah. This is one time actually interested in the impending Dougie scene. Okay. I feel like Chantal is made of part cheesies. This FBI guy is such a dick. I'm not even sure if he's funny at this point. So Dougie is a comma progress? Wait, what?
Dougie in a coma, I think.
Oh, so Dougie's...
yeah. Dougie in a coma equals progress.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. I find it interesting so many people are interested in electricity. That always seemed like something we, the audience, knew, but not necessarily the characters. Husband, does Gordon even understand all this technology? Who's here reading it? I loved the overlay on the sound effects in that sort of cut, Gordon looking at the tech while Dougie was in a coma. Husband, why do I have a feeling these guys are going to get tortured? Chantal talks a lot about torture and we haven't seen it yet. Lol, don't fuck with Chantal and her cheesies, regardless of the time of the month. People are under a lot of stress, Bradley. Indeed, Mitchum brothers. Okay. It's the mysterious ringing tone. Thank God Cooper is himself and gets it. Like he's himself, and then some Spokane, Washington. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Then music kicks in. Oh my god, I about died. Then I thought it was out of place since it was the opening title music in the middle of the show, but I didn't care. The sequence with Diane was one of the best sequences, I think, in the whole series. So much suspense, the music, the gun, it was great. Except for the over-explanatory Tammy. I know some people don't like CG, but I think in some way it mirrors what would have been in the original, and I'm cool with that. I'm sorry for you, Janie E., but for the sake of an entire 18 hours of television, he needs to go.
Sorry. Oh, we were going to say movie.
I had no idea I wanted Audrey's dance again in my life, but yes. So the fight scene was in the same one with James and Green Glove. What plane reality is she living in? Backwards Audrey's dance. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was James that got punched out.
Was it?
If you look in the background, it looks like James dancing with that guy's wife.
What?
Like swaying. Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, we'll have to check
We'll have
that
to
out
double
again.
check that.
Yeah.
Either way, it didn't happen, but
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for all your work. Keep it up and forget the haters. Y'all are awesome. 100%.
Yeah.
thanks.
Oh my god, I want Brad to slap all the feedbackers now.
Why? That's me.
It's just like it's funny because it's just like, just like say something, you just slap.
If you say 18 hours, you better watch yourself.
Yes. Brad's ready. He's ready with his glove.
I was mistaken. We have 2 left.
Oh, so should I read it now?
Sure, go ahead.
Yes! After all that. Hello, everybody. I haven't submitted a feedback these last 2 weeks, how dare you. But I'm back on board now. This episode was fantastic, and the last 4 episodes could fit into that category, as well as in my opinion.
As well in my opinion. Starting off with the Richard and Evil Coop scene, which was probably one of my least favorite scenes of the episode, which isn't that bad considering I enjoyed it thoroughly. The problem I have with this is that it is continuing this trend of killing off evil characters in non-important, non-gratifying ways. Jerry is great, though. I hope one day to get a spin-off where we can just see Jerry's adventures.
Yes.
I can imagine him bird watching and then using the wrong side of the binoculars over and over again. Moving on to the first coma scene, we get the Meacham brothers, Jim Belushi, ugh, and Candy. I didn't like Candy to begin with, but I don't know. I just genuinely find her funny now. The trend continues of killing off evil characters for no reason in the next scene with Chantal and Hutch. I find it hard to believe these assassins, who are on the down low, would get in a shootout over a parking spot, but I did enjoy the moment. Both actors were good, and I'd recommend Atypical on Netflix if you like Jennifer Jason Leigh. It's pretty good. Then it happens! Coop's back, and eating finger sandwiches. Kyle hasn't lost a step when it comes to playing Coop, and I loved it. Then we get Diane, and I thought this was really well done by everybody. I love how, after the shooting, Gordon is just like, what the hell? Laura Dern was great, and the story was pretty brutal. Are Tulpa's doppelgangers? Or completely different things? Yeah, I don't know either. Then Cooper leaves, and the limos... Wait. Then Coop leaves, and the limo Candy's line delivery is so funny to me for some reason. Then the Audrey scene, aka late season plot twist that will probably end up being uncalled for, but I'm interested. All in all, I give this episode 9.5 backwards binoculars out of 10. Thanks, Jacob.
Thanks, Jake.
Nice. I just looked up the fight scene with Audrey, and those are completely different people. That's like some guy in a plaid shirt with like a beard. There's a picture. I just put it in the chat.
Well, darn. I wished it was James getting punched again.
I mean, we all do.
It would be so satisfying.
Last feedback. Oh my god, Matt, this one's long. We're gonna have to tag team this one too.
Let's do it.
Ian, do you want to share it with
Sure.
Matt and I? I'll split it in 3. Ian can take the first part.
Okay.
I'll just paste the first part and then I'll paste the rest after.
Oh boy. Do Black Lodge spirits copulate with, i.e. rape, humans all the time? Are there more Richard Horns out there? Now that is a frightening thought. Mothers, I urge you to stop being so cavalier about pushing your children into traffic. I realize the temptation is great, but malevolent spawns of the spirit realm may be afoot. RSVP Richard Horn. That was a shocking turn of events. His death provided a much-needed jolt of excitement. For the first time, I felt a spark of interest in Brad Cooper. Additional electricity pun. Among my first notes, look at that ashen hobo running arms akimbo down the hillside. That's an adorable ashen hobo. Nope, it was Jerry Horn. But cover him in soot and he's a hobo, all right. Dude was so high he couldn't work binoculars. We've all been there. One time I smoked the old wacky tobacco and tried to make rice. My roommate lost a saucepan that night. RSVP saucepan.
Is he saying RSVP?
Yeah, responsibly play saucepan.
I think maybe he's high.
Rest.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. When they do Chantal's autopsy, the coroner will discover she is 95% Cheeto. Poor Chantal and Hutch. I loved them. That scene was hilarious, though. Move your van. You're blocking my driveway. We're not blocking your driveway. Go fuck yourself. No, fuck you. I move your van. Screech. Defuck. I'm surprised shooting you now. Blam, blam. You know shoot me. I'm Russian or Ukrainian or something, and I shoot you back. Blam, blam, blam. Oh, he's shooting back. We did not predict that response. Let's drive away. You know drive away from me. I'm an angry Slovakian or... I shoot you many times more. Blah, 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 blah. You're dead now. FBI, put your weapon on the ground. What a wacky neighborhood. Eh, Robert Nepper? It sure is. I'm Jim Belushi. What I'm trying to say is this was absurd, but I loved it. Dougie in a coma really turns Janie E on. The less self-aware he is, the more she wants to fuck him. Later, when Cooper is driving the convertible, there is a big grin on Janie E's face. To your average viewer, it may appear as though she's attracted to his more assertive version of her husband. Wrong. What she's actually thinking is, I'm going to cut this fool's brakes and send him back to the hospital. He's never been sexier than when he was hooked up to machines and pissing through a catheter. This is a blue comment.
Yeah. Deleted scene. Nurse number 1. Your coma patient has regained consciousness. He's talking to a chair, though. Nurse number 2. My shift was over 45 minutes ago, and I'm finally ready to clock out. Do me a favor and pretend you didn't see that. When Cooper regains his personality, the chair says what we're all thinking. Finally. You're a fine man, Bushnell Mullins. I will not soon forget your kindness or your decency. Or that your name is Bushnell. Janie telling Cooper don't go as the music swelled was the most soap opera-y moment of the seasons thus far. It felt like vintage Twin Peaks. I loved it. Owl sighting. Did you spot the owl inside Diane's purse? We've all known that something has been up with Diane since the beginning. I did not predict she was a tulpa because what the fuck even is that? But I figured she was in league with cigar store Indian Cooper for some reason. Was she always a tulpa? Was the real Diane replaced by tulpa? If so, what happened to the real Diane? Did Diane transform into a tulpa after being raped? How many times can I use the word tulpa?
Matt, stop it. Just stop it.
The scene kept me on edge because I sincerely thought Diane was going to assassinate Gordon Cole, Albert, and Tammy. She was about to, but Albert was Mr. on the ball and he shot her ass back to the other realm. Then Tammy says what we're all thinking. Wow, tulpa. Expect to see gifs of real doll Diane deflating the remainder of this year. As usual, amazing special effects. It's incredible what the production team was able to accomplish with the PC running Windows 3.1. The conversation in the casino. Sonny Jim says what we're all thinking. What? The Mitchum brothers are adorable. They may have begun their stint on Twin Peaks: The Return as quintessential Las Vegas sleazebags, but Cooper is right. They have revealed themselves as having hearts of gold. Speaking on Brad's behalf, I retract everything negative this podcast has said about Jim Belushi.
Never.
I heard Eddie Vedder was going to be on the show, and when I saw this guy singing about sand and running out of sand, I thought, he sounds so much like Eddie Vedder, but he doesn't look like him. He's imitation Vedder. Oh shit, that is Eddie Vedder. One line from his song stood out to me. A drunk octopus wants to fight.
What?
In my mind's eye, I pictured an octopus clutching 8 different weapons. Switchblade, welding torch, mace, inflatable plastic novelty hammer, rolling pin, half a broken beer bottle, a leg from a wooden doll, a lady's handbag. Claire, draw that. And then the internet was proved right, and Audrey is still trapped in her coma or something. This was obvious because no way would a bunch of millennials clear the dance floor for some sad crone to flail her arms about. And here's the end of it.
And now the shocking conclusion.
Of Matt A's email.
This was the best installment of the season so far, and it wasn't the best simply because Cooper woke up. It was the best because there were moments of real human emotion. Cooper and Janie. It was funny, Chantel and Hutch. It had genuine tension, Diane, and not the you convinced yourself you felt tension because you live inside David Lynch's asshole kind of tension. There was plot momentum. There were no scenes that were bad, boring, inconsequential, etc. It was a tighter hour of television. It demonstrated focus. And not the you convinced yourself there is focus because the creators arrived at a destination, never mind in everything in between kind of focus. Or if you just change the definition of the word focus. This episode was the antithesis of those earlier episodes that everyone else said were fantastic. So logically, the internet, who disagrees with us when we've said all along we wanted more episodes like this one, must have hated this, right? Because we're wrong all the time. Nope, they loved it too. Could the truth be that the cult of Lynch was prepared to feverishly love everything about the return before viewing a single frame of episode 1? That would be ironic, considering we're the ones told that we're not smart with criticism, that we're not deep thinkers. Until next week, Twin Peaks Podcast, keep fighting the good fight. You are all my little drunk octopuses.
Yay!
This feedback benefited from the Muncie, Indiana tax rebate for interstate production.
I can tell because he added some parts that were totally unnecessary.
Cool.
All right, that was an epic feedback session. Thanks, everyone. And yeah, we're running up on 2 hours, so that's about regular,
Thanks,
I guess.
Maddie.
That's it. So, Ian, thanks very much for coming on with us.
My pleasure.
I hope you had a good time. I
Hey,
hope you
thanks.
got all your Twin Peaks thoughts out.
Thanks for not
I
falling
did.
asleep during feedback.
Oh, no, that was fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, would you like to plug your projects that you've got going on?
Oh, yeah. EasyAllies.com is the thing that I do most of the time. We've got shows and streams, and we're Patreon supported and all that, tra-la-la. I've got a card game called Swords that you can still pre-order for the next 3 or 4 weeks. If you look at my Twitter, at Ian Hinck, it's linked on there. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Brad, what's going on with the Ramjack podcast?
Guys, on Ramjack in the upcoming episode, we reviewed an episode of the Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall radio show Bold Venture, which is fucking amazing. Check that out. Love it. It's one of my favorites. Also, you can hear me on the Calvici Fashion Cast talking about Quantum Leap and most of the fashions therein. We just talked about an episode that basically had Wally Brando in it. It was Dietrich Bader from the Drew Carey show, his goofy friend, playing basically a Marlon Brando wannabe Wally Brando as the villain, which was ridiculously dumb.
Nice. Okay. And you can catch me on the Defenders podcast, where we review the Netflix Marvel shows. Make sure you're listening to the Defenders podcast about Marvel shows and not the religious Defenders podcast. That's on iTunes. There's 2 of them. And also on Hooplecast, where we reviewed all of Deadwood, and now we're going through every pilot of the HBO's dramatic series. And also on the Shenmue AM2 podcast, where I just talk about Shenmue with a friend. And I got to get Michael Huber on that one, Ian.
Yeah, you do. He loses marbles.
All right, and that's it. And we'll see everyone next time for the finale. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on twitter.com/TwinPeaksCast. Search for the Twin Peaks Podcast group on Facebook, and visit us on twinpeakspodcast.blogspot.com. Email your feedback to twinpeakspodcast@gmail.com.